Hi, here's your review video on how to make a molar solution. And the first thing you should know is that if I'm making a molar solution, a 1 molar solution means I've got 1 mole of particles per liter, and that's what I'm going to teach you how to make here right now. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet, and we're going to do some pretty simple problems, so follow along. Step 1, if I ask you to make a molar solution, the first thing I want to figure out is how many of each atom do I have in my solute. I just used a word, so let's take a look at what solutions and solutes are. A solution is basically just water with stuff dissolved in it. It's actually any solvent with any solute dissolved in it. So we should put up those words. A solute is what you dissolve into your solvent, and the solvent is usually water. That's the most common one you're going to run into. And the solvent, there you go. It's almost always water. So let's make a 1 molar solution of sodium carbonate. I just picked a common ionic compound that we can that easily goes into solution. The first thing I should probably figure out is the chemical formula of sodium carbonate, and I've heard that you could look this up on the internet, so that's what I would do. That's what it looks like. So Na2CO3, so that means we've got 2 sodiums, 1 carbon, bonded to 3 oxygens. That's what our molecule looks like, the molecule of interest that we're talking about, or the compound of interest that we're talking about. So sodium carbonate, what that literally means, Na2CO3, what it literally means is that you have 2 sodiums, 1 carbon, 3 oxygens. 2 sodiums, there's 1, and there's 2. I have 3 oxygens, 1, 2, 3. Oh, geez, and then I have 1 carbon, but my picture here, my carbon is missing, but we know that at every time there's a point like this in an organic molecule, that's indicating that there is a carbon. They just don't draw them because chemists are lazy. So that is what we're looking at. So now what I want to do, step 2, I want to figure out how much each of my atoms weighs in my molecule of interest. So how am I going to do that? Well, I go to my handy dandy periodic table, and it's going to tell me all the weights of my various elements. So first I'll start with my 2 sodium atoms. If I go and I look on the periodic table, I can find sodium right there, and boom, the weight is right there at the bottom, and it's 22.99. Let's round that to 23. And then how many sodiums do I have in each Na2CO3? I've got 2 sodiums, because that's what that little 2 means after the Na. So I'm going to take the weight of 1 sodium, multiply it by 2, and I would get 46 units of weight. We'll talk about what those units of weight are here in a minute. I'm going to go do the same thing for carbon. Here's carbon. He weighs 12 apiece, and I have 1 of them in my compound that I'm looking at. So my carbon weight I filled in with 12 there. And then finally I got to do the same thing for oxygen. On my periodic table, he weighs 16. And in my compound, I have 3 of those, so I'm going to take 16 times 3, I'll get 48. Okay, so now I add all of my weights together. I have 46 units of weight in my sodiums, 12 units of weight with my carbon, 48 units of weight with my oxygens. I've got a total weight of my compound of 106 units. Let's talk about these units. These are atomic mass units. Now, that's just a unit of measure that every proton and every neutron in the atom weighs 1 atomic mass unit. But if you've taken a chemistry class, you would know that you could, if I take a mole of any particular atom at a time, 1 whole mole of that atom will convert my atomic mass units into grams. So if I've calculated that my compound of interest, my Na2CO3, weighs 106 atomic mass units, that means if I take 1 mole of that compound, it's going to weigh 106 grams. 1 mole, that term mole means 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. The word mole means a number. It's like saying I have a dozen eggs. If I say a dozen, it means 12. If I say a mole, it means 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So if I weigh out 106 grams of this stuff, this Na2CO3, this sodium carbonate, I will have 1 mole of sodium carbonate molecules. 1 mole. Boom. So 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of sodium carbonate weighs 106 grams. And I could figure that out from looking up the individual atoms on the periodic table. Now, to go to make my solution, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remember that a 1 molar solution means, I told you this right at the beginning, a mixture of 1 liter of water with exactly 1 mole of particles in it. 1 mole of our particles is 106 grams of sodium carbonate. So I weigh out 106 grams of sodium carbonate and put it in an empty 1 liter container. You would usually use this thing called a volumetric flask if you were going to do this. So I weigh it out on a scale, electronic scale. That works fine. And then there's my volumetric flask. I'm going to take a 1 liter volumetric flask and I'll put that 106 grams of my sodium carbonate powder in there. And then I will fill to the 1 liter mark. Now, it's kind of important that you don't fill to the 1 liter mark first and then add your powder, because then you're going to be a little bit over a liter, and you wouldn't be, you're going to fail all your quantitative analysis classes if you do it that way. So don't do it that way. You add the solid first and then fill to the mark with your liquid. You know, that's how pouring water looks, in case you were wondering. Neat. So that's how you do it. It's really not that hard. Oh man, but holy poo, Mr. Rissy, my evil teacher told me to make a 2 molar solution, or a half molar solution, or a 10th molar solution, or a 20 molar solution. What do you do? What do you do then? Well, I'm glad you asked. Don't panic, first of all. Just calm down. Calm down. Once you figure out what 1 mole weighs, just multiply that weight by whatever concentration your evil teacher wants. So for example, a 1 mole solution of sodium carbonate weighs 106 grams. But if I wanted to make a half molar solution, I start by weighing out 53 grams. Why would I do that? Well, let's look here. 106 grams is 1 mole. If I divide that in half, I'd have 53 grams. That's half a mole of sodium carbonate. And then put that in the 1 liter container and fill to 1 liter. And ta-da, I've got myself a half molar solution. So what if I said a 2 molar solution? Well, then I'd take 212 grams, because 1 mole is 106 grams, so 2 moles would be 212 grams. I just doubled this. Put it into my 1 liter, put my solid into the 1 liter container, fill to 1 liter, boom, I've got a 2 molar solution. Or you could do this with any concentration. How about a 10th molar solution? Well, I'd take 106, multiply it by a tenth, and I'd get 10.6 grams to 1 liter. So, just to make sure that we are all on the same page here, let's do a couple practice problems together. Okay, so here's how I do this. First thing I would do for my first one here, to make the 3 molar solution of potassium iodide, figure out the mass of my atoms that I'm worried about. So let's do potassium first. Potassium's mass equals 39 units. Now, how did I know that? I went to the periodic table and I looked at the mass number, which is usually the bottom number on the block from the periodic table. If I take my iodine, figure out its mass, the mass of iodine would be 127. Now I have 1 of each kind of atom. I have 1 potassium hooks to 1 iodine. Okay, so I don't need to worry about multiplying these by anything because I just have 1 of each. So then I would take my 39 plus 127. So let's add these together. And I would get, that was the worst plus sign I've ever drawn. I would get 166. Right? I just added those together. Now, if I take that 166, I know that if I had a mole of these 2 atoms, that would be in grams then. So it's 166 grams equals the weight of 1 mole of potassium iodide. Okay, so 166 grams is the weight of 1 mole of potassium iodide. So if I want to know what 3 moles weighs, I just take 166 grams multiplied by 3, because I'm getting 3 moles, equals 498 grams. Take 498 grams of potassium iodide. Put in a 1-liter flask and fill to 1 liter. Yay, so that's how I made it. I took 498 grams of potassium iodide. I filled it to 1 liter. That gave me my 1 molar or my 3 molar solution of potassium iodide. Why would I ever want to do that? It's because you can't count individual atoms. That's the whole point of making these molar solutions is atoms are too small to count or molecules are too small to count. You can't count them individually. So by using this trick, it's a way to account for all the atoms that are present. It's a clever chemistry trick that you're going to use in biology classes and chemistry classes, and making molar solutions is extremely common whenever you're dealing with chemistry. Let's do problem 2. Okay, problem 2, make a 0.4 molar solution of calcium chloride. So first I would have to look up the mass of calcium. Mass of calcium is 40. And the mass of chlorine equals 35. Now, when I do calcium chloride, calcium, I have one of those, because remember there's a little 1 right there that they never draw. And then chlorine, I have 2 of those in every one of these calcium chloride compounds. Okay, I have 2 of these. So I'm going to have to take that 35 and multiply it by 2. And so that's going to equal 70. Now I will take those numbers, add them together. CaCl2 weighs 70 plus 40 equals 110 grams if I have a mole of those. If I have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd calcium chlorides, it would weigh 110 grams. That's 1 mole. 1 mole. Do I want 1 mole though? No, I don't, because the problem says I want 4/10 of a mole of this stuff. So, fine, I'll take 110. 110 would be 1 mole. I'm going to multiply that by 4/10, and I'm going to get 44 grams. I'm going to take 44 grams, weigh it out on my scale, take 44 grams, add to beaker or to a flask, fill 1 liter. So that's the answer. At 44 grams added to the flask and then fill it to 1 liter, that will give you a 4/10 molar solution of calcium chloride. I hope this helps. If it doesn't, come see me and I will help you out, and we'll get you going on this stuff. That is all. Have a good night.